Mr. Still Yo Dibs, Jared JB. And on the other side, my brother, the Tantilizing Tony Levin. What's going on, man?
Hola, me llamo Tantalizing Tony. ¿Cómo
Yeah.
estás?
Sí. Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Y tú? ¿Y tú?
Así.
Sí.
See that? We are bilingual here over the top rope.
Yes, indeed, man. We got a lot to talk about in an hour. Before we get into our topics, I want to give a shout out to all independent wrestling organizations. You know, they're going through a tough time right now during this pandemic. So, I want to give them a shout out to everyone. I don't know every independent organization, but there's a lot out there, and they're struggling right now. But give them a shout out. But I want to give a shout out to an independent wrestling organization out here in New Orleans called Wildcat Wrestling, which is owned by Mr. Luke Hawks himself. And shout out to the job he has done, but also shout out for keeping them relevant during this pandemic. And one of the wrestlers that Wildcat Wrestling has is Jaden Spade, bet on the wild card. And we had Mr. J Spade on the show a while ago. We had him for a good while on the show. And it was one of the best shows we've had, one of the better interviews that we had. And he specifically talked about Luke Hawks being a rat. He told us why and everything due to Instagram posts. And he said Luke must have ratted on him. And he said that Luke said that never happened. Don't know what he's talking about. But it's funny, they've had the match, and when they had their match, everybody in the crowd had rat signs for Luke, that he's a rat. And they had that match. Spade won that match. But it's funny that Spade continues to rub this in on him after they done been had this match. And I don't know if you saw the Instagram stories of Jay Spade yesterday, but man, he had about 7 of them calling Luke a rat. But that wasn't the end of it. Jay Spade was at Luke's house, or Luke was at Jay Spade's house. Luke pulls out the camera, and I quote, he says, "So you want to talk shit online?" And he grabs Spade. He grabs Spade in the arm. And you heard Spade go, ah. And Luke said, talk now, talk now, talk now. And Spade like laughing. And Spade look at him and go, man, where you going with that weak ass baby grip? And the camera cuts off. Bruh. When Wildcat is able to return to wrestling, I would like to see Spade and Hawks build the rivalry up to a match. Don't just start off with a match. Well, maybe you can, but build it up, man. They got to do this one more time, man. This is just great. Just for wrestling itself.
Independent wrestling is the bloodline of what we see on TV. There's so many matches over the country and so many things independent wrestling does for the business that we never get to see, or that the casual fan thinks, oh, those guys are just the minor leagues. Yeah, okay. Let me explain something to you about the so-called minor leagues. Those guys go traveling all over the country for almost basically no money. Gas money. They got to pay their own hotel. They got to book their own everything. They don't got no road agents. You know, they got to budget out their money. Hopefully, they got enough asses in the seats to get a full payday. Imagine it's bad weather, especially now what's going on with the COVID. You can't even run a show. It's crazy. So I give all the props to all the independent wrestlers, but especially, of course, we got a special place on for Jaden Spade because, he's one of our own.
MVS.
MVS, definitely. And I respect everything the guy does. And, I know people think I'm over the hill, but when I get back into the ring next year, I'm going to take a little trip down there, maybe pay him a visit. But,
Well, I had put a put a post about it. About should I start the show off with WrestleMania stuff or this Luke Hawks Jaden Spade beef? Shout out to Luke Hawks. He liked it, and then he posted this picture just now. He posted this picture. So let me see if I can get a close up of it. There it is. Him and
Oh yeah,
Spade in
okay.
the ring together. Look at that. Oh boy, Spade. Man, Luke getting the best of you right now, man. You got to come back harder, Spade. Luke getting the best of you, bro. But shout out to those two guys, man. Much love to Luke Hawks. Much love to Jaden Spade. Much love to all of the Wildcat Wrestling Organization, and much love to the Indie Circuits Wrestling Organization also. Now, moving on. WrestleMania. WrestleMania. Stephanie McMahon has come out and said that they want to have at least 25,000 fans in Tampa, Florida at Raymond James Stadium. And before I read the rest of the interview, I said, well, they need to go ahead and see if they can get some type of inside access to what the Super Bowl will do at Raymond James Stadium. And when I read, that's what she said. We're going to take notes from what the Super Bowl are going to do, and then we're going to go from there, and then we're going to give an announcement if we're going to have fans or not. And I tell you what, I think they're on the right track of seeing how many they can have, how much they can be able to social distance, and then you're learning from a group that's going right before you, pretty much 2 months in advance, before you have your show in Raymond James Stadium. I think it's the perfect time to learn and then go from there. So if you're going to have fans, check out NFL Super Bowl, what they're doing, and then you follow suit, and then you can make proper adjustments as needed also after seeing what they are going to do.
Yeah, listen, what I know one of the plans what the Super Bowl is doing. So what they're doing is they're making sure all the players are able to give out tickets to their family members and everything. Those are free,
Correct.
and they're doing they're going to give first crack at essential workers, the nurses, and all that stuff. So if they're going to run that same amount of WrestleMania, I'm in because I'm essential for the school district. So if they, hopefully there's some kind of way to get in on that. But whatever they do, you know, people say, oh, it's not gonna be WrestleMania. I was one of those people. I said, oh, it's not WrestleMania, our fans. After all we had last year with no fans, if
Right.
they look at half capacity to me, that's a step in the right direction for 2022. Because if we get half this year, 2022 in Texas will be off the chain, and everything is bigger in Texas. So, what a way to come back at WrestleMania in AT&T Stadium with a full capacity of 100,000 fans, and it'd probably be one of the best WrestleManias of all time. So, we just gotta wait and see. Gotta be patient. We made it this far. It's been tough for everybody. We all miss out being at the shows, but more importantly is to being healthy and being safe. You came down with it.
Yeah.
There's some people in BS came down with it. I want to just give somebody a shout out from Mania Club. BJ, the leader of the brand, he just posted he was sick. He had it. His family, thank God, they had no symptoms, and one person was asymptomatic, but he was very sick for 10 days, very sick, and he came through. And he's back 100%. Thank God. So if BJ sees this, BJ right from Mania Club, you see this, thank God you're okay. And
Definitely.
we got to be safe, man. So it's real hard to be patient, but we have no choice. And
Definitely.
I was also one other thing I want to say too. I was being kind of selfish with the streak, and I do want to go, but if things aren't, if everything's not the right way, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
If it's not right, I'm not going to risk it.
Right.
Because my thing is this: I already know I'm not going to fly, so I'll definitely drive,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm safe there. You know, what hotel accommodations, how close, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So it's a lot of things you got to put into perspective for you do anything. So I'm gonna make a educated decision, just like everybody else should do.
Yep.
Yeah, we all want to see each other, we want to be together, but all of us aren't going. You know what I mean?
You're right.
So we got to see.
You got my parents being like, well, telling me straight up, you need to sit this one out. They said maybe next year be better, but you need to sit it out. I'm like this, man. I really, really want to go. And we talked about it last
So
week,
do I.
and I said, probably depending on ticket prices itself would be my determining factor if I go or not. Um, I don't know if I'm going to do access or even the WrestleCons, but I figure if I just go to the wrestling shows, that being NXT, Mania, and maybe the Hall of Fame, they have it, and they do social distance in the stadiums. I figure I might be fine. I might be fine, but we still got a little over, little less than 3 months until Mania, and we will see what happens from there. But we got to also remember that Raw and SmackDown have not had any fans since this pandemic really started. So this is pretty much WWE starting anew again with fans, and got to take it step by step with baby steps, and at the same time remember the health and safety of your employees and the fans who are coming to watch.
Definitely. I couldn't have said it better.
Now, before we go on to the next topic, my boy Jada Spade responded. He responded. Spade responded. And he got the rat. You see, man, I'm telling you, they have to build this rivalry up again, man. They got to wrestle again. But we're gonna move on now. Move on. SmackDown and Raw, and once again, it's just we got one show that I think we all can sit there and watch with joy and excitement and just pure anticipation leading up to next week. And we have another show, and we just like, man, I can go on YouTube and just watch the clips. This is just boring. And you have the same writers for both shows. I don't get that. I don't get how one show is that much better than the other. And then at the same time, Tony, SmackDown is getting the best out of pretty much everyone on the roster. I mean, think about it. There's really no one getting buried. Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, Nakamura, Apollo Crews, Big E, Otis, Chad Gable. They using these guys like correctly. They're all getting TV time. Some win, some lose. But it's not like somebody continuing to lose like Zack Ryder at one time and just got buried, or Kurt Hawkins the same way. I mean, how can the flagship show, which is Monday Night Raw, all of a sudden just be bad, that bad, to where USA is talking about they might have to cancel that show, and then your B show, known as SmackDown, is the best overall show. How can this be?
Um, it is mind-boggling that like I'm still trying to put it together, like how these two shows from the same company are so far apart.
Yeah.
Even with the women's tag division, the matches on Raw are better than the matches on SmackDown are better than the matches on Raw, and it's the same women,
Yeah.
same division. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Charlotte and Asuka travel through both shows.
Yep.
It seems like when they go to SmackDown, their matches are better. I mean, even they're using their women, like using Tamina with Natalie, with Natalia. I like that. Two generational, women together. It's bro. I don't know. Daniel Bryan is getting a push.
Yeah.
Him and Cesaro and Ziggler. Like you said, everybody's being used properly. Even Sasha versus what's the guy's name?
Reginald.
Versus Reginald.
Yeah.
I love that. So it's like I don't know what they're doing, and just not to. Maybe Roman needs to go over to Raw and help him out.
I don't know if that would solve the case of sending Roman back to Raw. I mean, I know people are watching because of Roman. I get that. But he has the best storyline and it's on SmackDown. I don't know sending Roman back to Raw will be the answer at all. But I mean, how else can you put this that SmackDown is winning easily? And even the obstacle course yesterday with Bailey and Bianca, that wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, Bailey threw more obstacles at Bianca, which to me made it better.
Yeah,
Because yeah, we know. Look, we know Bianca is an athlete. We know Bailey
natural.
played. Yeah, Bailey played basketball in high school. We know that. Man, we know Bianca would have dust the floor with Bailey in a regular obstacle course. We know that.
Dusted.
But to add those obstacles for her to make it more of a challenge, that was like intriguing. And I was like, oh, whoa. She Bailey trying to cheat. Okay, let me see what Bianca does. Hurdles. Bianca did track in college. She did do track.
Listen, you got to remember the vignettes from. See, it's crazy. I just pulled it up. The vignettes from Raw when she
Yeah,
was in,
that's right.
and she waited. Look at this. Look at this. She waited.
Uh
Oh my
huh.
God. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Boom. Look at
Oh
that
my
speed,
God.
man. Jeez.
A natural athlete, bro.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And then she picking up Otis and carrying Otis from
Yo,
one part of the ring to the other. Bruh.
when she picked Otis up, bro, I legitimately popped. I did see that. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Yo, Otis weighs a legit 325, right? Maybe more,
Maybe 350, yeah.
bro. Uh, even with his help, even with him helping her and not moving and this thing, bro, she is naturally, bro. This is crazy.
It is
Yeah.
crazy. It is
Like here we go. Here
crazy.
we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Look at that. Wow. But bro, it was like with ease. That's the
Yo,
thing.
yo, hold on. Let's watch it one more time. Hold on. Let's Fireman's carry. Look at it. Look at it. Look at this.
Unbelievable.
Yo,
Wow.
that's a good 15 feet she won with
Yes.
that dude.
Yes. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. But Raw has got to do something. They got to do something, man, to make this show, to make their show relevant again, make it the best. And we sit here as wrestling fans, sit here saying that we don't care to see Raw right now. That should never be the case. That shouldn't be the case for the flagship show. You should want to tune in and watch that. But right now, man, we can sit here and talk about SmackDown all day because it's that intriguing. It leaves us wanting more. I mean, we saw Roman get his behind whip for the first time on SmackDown in forever. Forever. KO laid the smack it down on Roman. Roman
Yes.
looking up at the lights. We hadn't seen that, man. And we sitting there like, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Roman got played last week. He got his butt whipped the following week. Wow. What's going to happen next Friday? I mean, we can't sit there and say that about Raw. We can't sit there and say that about Randy Orton and The Fiend or whatever. We can't even sit there about say that about Drew and Goldberg. Like, it's like no intrigue in it. We gotta have intrigue on Raw. You gotta spice it up. I mean, man, look how SmackDown ended that show with that beatdown.
Yo,
I, Go ahead.
the Kevin the Kevin Owens the Kevin Owens Roman Reigns feud is just it's one for the ages. Can you the only downfall is the lack where the hell are you going? The lack of
What up,
fans.
Bobby?
Hey. The lack of fans.
That's it.
If
Correct.
if Kevin Owens and Roman had fans, you gotta hold on. You got dark colors. Okay, be careful. 18, I can't say nothing. But yes, bro. I'd rather see some NXT guys come up and come on the Raw.
If it can help, if it can help, we've seen a lot of NXT people come up and get buried, and that's what we don't like about it. But hopefully, man, Just change what happened for Raw. Well, we can get back to watching this show and enjoying it again. But we're gonna move on. As some of you have heard, and maybe some of you have not heard, the NBC Sports Network is shutting down. Shutting down. So that means sports shows like some of the soccer they show from overseas, the NASCAR shows, they will be going to the USA Network. So that means NXT might, it's not set in stone yet, but might have to move to a different day. Meaning that this might be the end of the Wednesday night wars. Now, I'm gonna go first. The Wednesday night wars lasted just a little bit over a year. It's a little bit. And I will sit here and say that, you know, the Wednesday night war wasn't as intriguing as the Monday night wars from years ago between WCW and WWE. But it was good. And AEW won most of the um the ratings, from week to week. NXT won a few, but AEW won most of them. And still people look at NXT as a developmental brand, which when you show NXT in a performance center and you bringing in new people in the gray shirts, people look at it that way. I don't look at it that way because these guys have wrestled before in other organizations, but people look at it that way, and I understand why. But at the same time, NXT was the better show than AEW. All around, better wrestling, better promos. AEW to me was just sometimes looks choreographed, like they practiced it, seemed to be a bit off, and sometimes seemed like a spot show. But with that being said, I would move NXT to Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights, due to the fact that the NBA will be on Thursday nights for majority of the time. I would go NXT on Tuesday nights. You're not competing against anybody except Impact. You're going to beat Impact in the ratings. That's not even a discussion. I would go NXT to Tuesday nights. My brother.
USA right now, let me tell you, this might be crazy to even think so. They might bump Raw with the ratings.
Oh,
Raw's ratings up. It's possible.
yeah?
For the first time in history, Raw might not be coming on Monday nights anymore if you think about it. I'm pretty sure he's had these conversations.
Yeah.
You know? Um, as for the Wednesday Night Wars, to me, was never a war to me. It never gave me that, like, oh, I can't watch one or the other. Because the way TV set up nowadays, you can watch one or the other
That's
and then
right.
come back. YouTube has changed the way you watch television,
That's correct.
as well as the network, the WWE
Mm-hmm.
network. So, um, the only thing we gotta, if you want to say who won the war is still ongoing. But as for the better product, is always NXT. And as for the newness and the just being a new kid on the block and it being a breath of fresh air, younger guys coming in, AEW has a little edge on that. But
Right.
like I've always told you, production value still is not where it should be, and storylines are very muddled in AEW. Still, it's not very they're not streamlined to know where you're going from point A to point B at as you do with NXT.
Right.
So I mean, NXT leaving on Wednesday night ain't gonna hurt them.
No.
It doesn't matter what night they're going. I'm gonna tune in. Put them on Saturday morning, 3 a.m. I got a DVR.
I can wake up.
So
I can wake up just to watch it and go back to sleep.
if I watch New Japan, I'll watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Um, Question. I don't think it'll happen. It's already on the network, but do you think Vince will be like, okay, just take him off TV altogether and put him back on the network? I don't think that'll happen anymore.
No, because NXT their uh their ad space is very expensive. So
Mm,
they're making money off that, off the ads.
Gotcha.
and
Gotcha.
and move them to another night, that puts WWE in a position to cut a better deal ad-wise. Oh, you're moving us from our flagship night Wednesdays? Well, now we want this much money for the ads instead of this much money. You know what I'm saying? They could
Okay.
boost their price. They could boost how much they could charge, the other companies like Pepsi or whoever else, comes on those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this works in WWE's favor
Okay.
because they're not gonna lose no fans. You're gonna stop watching NXT because they move nights. You're a wrestling fan. You're gonna follow whatever night they go to.
That's right. That is correct. How many times SmackDown it went from a Thursday to a Friday?
To a
I think,
Tuesday.
yeah, to a Tuesday. Correct. Yes, you are absolutely right. I'm about to say Wednesday, but you are right. I remember Tuesday. That's correct. Now, AEW this past Wednesday, we saw Ricky Starks. We saw Brian Cage, Taz in the ring. We also saw Sting and Darby Allin all in the ring. And it was announced Sting will have his first match at the AEW, I think it's called Revolution pay-per-view, which I believe is next Saturday or yeah, next Saturday, I believe. Next Saturday, the day before the
The
Rumble.
Saturday before the Rumble, right?
Yeah, Saturday before the Rumble. I'll let you go first. Do you think we will actually see Sting wrestle, or will it be a like cinematic match like Undertaker and AJ?
Sting was medically cleared by WWE. Excuse me. I mean my salad. I gotta eat about 6:30. Sorry.
I got you. You got 2 minutes.
Sting was cleared by WWE almost 2.5 years ago. 2 years ago. He's in good shape. In a tag team match, you can always hide the shortcomings you have as an older wrestler because the younger guy can do all the work. Sting coming for the hot tag, punch, punch, clothesline, kick in the corner, Stinger splash, 1, 2, 3, Scorpion, whatever. Easy way to protect Sting is a tag team match. Perfect way to get him in to see what he can do if you got to put him in a match in one-on-one and how long he can go. This is going to be a perfect test for his stamina, his cardio, his wrestling ability, and what he can do. So I'm excited to see what a 60-year-old guy can do because it gives me hope.
It's funny though. Ever since Sting was announced on AEW, or when he made his surprise return to AEW, I got a bunch of friends who haven't watched wrestling in a while and heard about it. Say, "Hey man, Sting back! I'm watching wrestling." I said, "Okay, that's nice." I said, he's 61 years old. He can't be taking all those bumps anymore. I don't care. That's Sting, and that's what Sting does. Sting just brings people to see him. The aura that Sting has. It was first announced that Sting wouldn't actually have a match at AEW, and I sat there and said, I think it's a waste of time just to have Sting keep walking out with a bat, point at people, hit somebody with it, and that's about it. Like Sting would have to be in a match.
And what
I
did I
think,
say? I exactly said the same thing you said. I said there's no way they're going to have him as just a dog and pony show. He got to get in the ring to
yeah,
end his career the right way.
correct. And I'm pretty much on the same side with you on this one. I don't think we're going to see Sting in the ring a lot. We might see Sting started off for a minute or two, tag out. We might see Sting just on an apron until Darby Allin makes the hot tag and Sting comes in and saves the day. I don't think we're going to see Sting take a lot of bumps. He might not take any at all this match. You know,
None.
yeah, just to play
Not
it
a one.
safe. Just to play it safe. Play it safe. We might not even see Sting do the Scorpion Death Rock because he got to fall himself. He might just do the Scorpion leg lock.
He might do the Stinger splash and then the death lock. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, exactly. And that'll be good. That'll be a big pop. I don't think we'll see Sting take many bumps. I don't think it's called for this early, but just to see what all can Sting still do in the ring at 61. And I tell you what, when I see Sting walk to the ring, Sting looks fine, bro. He looks fine compared to Hogan when he got to his late 50s and early 60s trying to walk. How bad he looks walking to the ring. I mean, it's like Hogan can't even straighten his legs out to walk. They got to stay bent. Sting looks good walking to that ring, man. And I want to see Sting run and do this Stinger splash. I don't think Sting could jump from as far as he used to, but if Sting can still run and get a good jump to where it still looks effective, he's not flying from further distance. He's flying from close distance. Hey, I think we're gonna be in for a great, great showing from Sting. I really am excited to see this, and I'm hoping for the best for Sting, and that this match that he's in will be a successful match, and that we can sit here and talk about this for the next couple years. Hey man, remember when Sting came back into his first match in AEW at the age of 61? How good he looked. Hey, I think this could be something we could talk about for a very, very long time.
This is going to be inspirational for a lot of people, especially wrestlers who have given up. Because let me tell you what happens too with wrestlers when you get out the business and you don't end your career the right way. You always have that regret in the back of your mind. It lives with you.
Hmm.
I know this personally. It lives with you. It when you're a wrestler, and I was a wrestler,
Right?
you every day that you go to work, that one that one part of the day where you got that lull in the day where you're just taking a break or eating lunch, that little thought passed through your head on what could have been, on what you could have done different. And for the see Sting in the ring at 61 years old, he's 9 years older than me. What's my excuse?
It's
You see
give
the
you mo-
salary, right? You see the
yeah,
salary, right?
it's give you motivation. I see.
You know Les. You met Les, right?
I met Les in Orlando. That's correct.
You know Les has his own promotion, right?
I did not know that.
Calls me every day. He said, "Get in shape, bro. Get in shape."
Oh snap. Okay, all right. I didn't know that. Good.
COVID, COVID put me back, put us all back a little bit. But
Yeah.
Undertaker at 55 in the ring. Ric Flair retired in his what late 50s, 60s, right?
Well, he
50.
did come. He did come out of retirement and wrestled in TNA.
So that was he was in his 60s then.
Probably was, yeah, early 60.
So
Yeah.
why not one more match for the Tantilizing one?
There you go. There you
So
go.
I'm happy for Sting, and if anybody wants to down Sting, welcome.
Yeah. Now we saw the good guy, bad guy, Tama Tonga, talk about that he wants New Japan Pro Wrestling to do a partnership with the WWE, and he sat there and said, you know, we got guys and other organizations teamed up with another organization just to try to get revenge on an old company they work used to work with. Um, I'm gonna start off by saying, I think a New Japan Pro Wrestling and a WWE partnership would be great. New Japan Pro Wrestling has some of the best wrestlers in the world, and
Oh my God.
WWE has gotten some of those wrestlers. One being Shinsuke Nakamura, and the other being Kushida, just to name two of them. I think it'll be a match made in heaven. But I look at it also, since these words were coming out of Tama Tonga's mouth. I look at it also that he wants to he wants to stick it up Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers, the Young Bucks, you know what? Because he's very, very upset with them when they were saying, you know, the club is back together. They throwing up Too Sweet. Kenny Omega walking out in a Bullet Club shirt at the Impact Hard to Kill pay-per-view. You know Tama Tonga is upset. He said some things about Kenny not being real when he was in Bullet Club. I think Tama Tonga is saying that just to get back at them also. So, and then if he never said anything about, you know, people wanted get revenge on WWE, speaking of Cody Rhodes for starting off AEW, I might feel a different way. But with that being what he said, yeah, I think he wants to stick it to him also. I mean, that's just how I'm looking at it. I'd love to see it. It'll be wonderful, but Tama Tonga, he's up to something.
It would be a great marriage between New Japan and WWE. Could you imagine the great wrestling of New Japan with the pomp and circumstance of WWE?
Yeah,
Because they know how to put a show on.
that's correct.
So imagine you have them imagine you have like a WrestleMania kind of atmosphere with those guys. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah,
like you could actually have some great matches from the New Japan wrestlers, like going against mat technicians like freaking Daniel Bryan,
yeah.
going against Cesaro, or could you imagine Shinsuke, going to being on the WWE side, going against somebody in New Japan? So, man, come on.
Man, give me Shinsuke versus Tanahashi.
Tanahashi, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, Kota Ibushi, Nato, Evil, oh, Will Osprey versus
Yo,
AJ Styles, bro.
yo,
We can go on.
Osprey versus AJ, and I'd like to see Cesaro versus oh, I can't think of his name, man. Oh, I like Cesaro so much, so Cesaro's my dude.
Yeah,
But Cesaro versus anybody from New Japan, to tell you the truth, because he could go.
yeah. Give me a rematch of Kushida versus Ishimori. Give me a
Oh
rematch of
yeah,
those two guys.
yeah.
It's so many dream matchups you could put together if this happens. So many. It'll be wonderful. And we're seeing AEW and Impact work together right now. They sent Kenny over there first. Now they sent Private Party, who won a match and now are the number one contenders for the Good Brothers Impact Tag Team Championships. I mean, it's like AEW has taken over Impact, and Impact is its own brand with its own wrestlers.
Hey, listen, they planned this out. It looks like pretty well, and all it's doing is helping Impact. So
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt.
it, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Impact
I would like,
ratings
I
have
would like
gone
to,
up.
yeah, I would like to see some people I would like to see some other wrestlers go over there too to Impact and start some trouble too. Some mid carders. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. They need in the future. I know they're just starting off, but they need to have some type of invasion angle like WWE had years ago with WWE, WCW, and they brought along
ECW.
ECW. Yeah, they gotta have something like that eventually. I mean, you get your bigger stars. We can get the Young Bucks against the Motor City Machine Guns one more time. Because they wrestled 1,000 times. We can get maybe Cody, Jericho, Kenny, and Moxley versus Rich Swann, Moose, Sammy Calligan, Eddie Edwards, just to name a few. Some type of invasion angle. You got to have the two groups go to war. It can't just be a couple from Impact, A&W showing up at Impact, and a couple from Impact showing up at AEW. Eventually, the brands, the rosters of both shows gotta collide, and you gotta have a big show eventually. Got to.
Listen, there is so much you can go, so many places you can go with these two organizations. Um, WWE should stop being so. Well, not the Vince should stop being so, you know, tight on the letting the wing spread. There's so many could you imagine if Ring of Honor was a team with WWE?
Oh man, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, just think about it's so much better when everybody's getting along because it's better for business, man. You
yeah,
know, you're not gonna people gonna people are gonna watch who they want to watch anyway. And if you're gonna watch AEW and be AEW fan, that's what you're gonna be. It's gonna be a W. But what hurts it if you bring in more, small organizations to come in and start little invasion angles. We know who the big dogs are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know.
Time will tell. We've heard Triple H say when the time is right, they will, do partnership deals when the time is right.
In other
Um,
words, when Vince dies,
I'm about to say when Vince dies. Correct. Correct.
and
Now,
I hate to say stuff like that because I don't want Vince McMahon to die. I don't,
right.
he's a jerk, but nobody wants the guy to die. But it's just to the point that you got to, you're not hoping for it, but that's what's gonna have to happen for things to change. Terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very terrible. We will see. Hopefully, because when AEW Impact started this, we kind of was wondering, can it work? And right now, it is showing the world that this can work. Now, last topic of the day, it was just some news I scrolled by, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I said, we're going to just mention this on the show and give our thoughts about it. Nikki Bella wants to be on the creative team next to her brother-in-law, Daniel Bryan. I'm going to start with you, my man. Good or bad idea?
I mean, okay, maybe Nikki Bella could bring a fresh take on things, but she doesn't have the wrestling knowledge to produce a match, to start a storyline and see it all the way through. She just knows everything's gonna be fluff with her. I mean, why are we you know, why are they even thinking about even giving her a chance to even do this? Like, why is it even being considered? Like, we're trying to get the product to be better. We don't need her. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Bella Twins were good for what they were. They weren't terrible. They did come a long way. They worked hard.
They worked
They
hard.
got
They worked
no. I'll
hard.
tell you, Nikki Bella was terrible as a wrestler, and she really improved. She did.
Correct.
She
Yes,
got
he
way
did.
better. She got an edge to her. She was cutthroat. She was ruthless. Brie Bella with Brie mode. They did a good job from where they started,
I agree.
but that's where it is.
That's it.
That's it.
That is it. I'm not against giving someone a chance and a try at something. I'm not, but I'm just gonna be straight up blunt with everybody. I don't see this working at all. I'm with you. I don't know if Nikki can start a story and see it go on and going on, like how Roman's story is going. I don't know if she could do that or not. I don't know if she has the insights to create stories or have the insight to input this here, input this there. No, let's scratch that out and let's put this there. I don't know if she has any of those capabilities. Now, what I wouldn't mind is for Nikki to be around the creative team and just sit back for maybe a year and two and watch and learn. Be a study for a certain amount of time. And
Right.
then go ahead and try it out and see. You know, Kevin Nash was part of the creative team in WCW. And I'm not gonna say Kevin Nash did a bad job, but we saw where this all went with NWO beating up everybody every Monday. Same thing, same thing, same thing. Hogan had the belt for the longest amount of time, most of the time. Stuff like that. Um, but I say give her a shot, but have her study it first. Don't have her just jump right into it. And then maybe a year or two, then give her a shot to see where it goes. Remember, they brought in Freddie Prinze Jr. to be on the creative team at one time.
But he actually did a good job though,
Yeah, he did.
because he's a see. If you're a wrestling fan, you can figure it out because you know what you like
Mm-hmm.
and you know what the people around you like. Nikki and Brie Bella were not wrestling fans. They came on in a diva search.
That's correct.
You know, there's very few women that came on in a diva search that have turned it around and become great wrestlers. You got a few that have been okay, but if you notice, people who are fans of wrestling become better wrestlers. Bailey,
Yes.
Lita.
Yes.
You can just go down the line of who was a fan of wrestling.
Sasha,
And,
Charlotte.
right?
Yes.
They're fans. They're fan. When you're a fan, you know how. Even if you don't understand the schematics of okay, how what at what time of the match should I have the guy come back or make the hot tag, you still know what the end result's going to be because you know what you want to see. And then you can even flip that. Even if you like all the good guys, you can say, well, I have to look this from the other side. I know what the bad guys got to do. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
never going to get that. I don't care who her brother-in-law is. I don't care who she's married to. I don't care who she was with. Doesn't matter if she's with John Cena. Doesn't matter who. She's not going to get it. She's never going to get it. Waste.
Big time waste. Big time waste. And we another topic. So it was said, that The Rock and Undertaker would not be at WrestleMania. Well, they definitely said that The Rock is most likely out. And they said Taker is likely out, but with one phone call, he may he may pop up at but word is, Mr. You Can't See Me, John Cena will be wrestling at WrestleMania 37. We saw the little WrestleMania little trailer, I guess we could say, with them talking about 37, Sasha at 38, and Cena promoting 39 in LA. But if Cena is to wrestle at WrestleMania 37, like they are saying, who do you think will be the guy that John Cena wrestles?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter because Cena's a name enough to make people like, all right, let's go. Listen, to see Cena in that little vignette, that little
Yeah,
parody of the
yeah,
news thing, it was a shock. I was like, all right. So Cena's not done, which is good. Um, the other thing you got to look at is the Undertaker comment that a phone call away. See, that's where Vince goes wrong because Vince will call him.
Oh, you know it. You know it.
And to me, I don't know what else Undertaker can possibly do.
Correct.
I mean, the only thing I want to see him in the ring, I want to see him in the ring with Sting, and we know now that's probably never going to happen. So if you do bring Undertaker back, what do you bring him back for? To do what? And against who? And and what are you going to get behind? What is it? Something that we're going to get behind as fans? Like you've walked off into the sunset. No need to come back again. You left the right way now. We all would wish it was under better circumstances that you should have left a month at Survivor Series with a whole bunch of fans. But they could always do another goodbye show where you got fans in the arena. Like he come listen, if you want to do this right, you bring him back next year in Texas, his home state,
Yeah, definitely.
to say goodbye. Or have somebody running him and he does one tombstone and then it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But to bring it back now, to me, hurts the product, and I wouldn't do it. I like Cena coming back. To me, it doesn't matter who Cena goes against, but I'd even like to see Cena go against Orton. Go maybe Edge, one of his old rivalries.
Right. I like to see John wrestle Orton, but I like to see it in this form. Randy finally get up to 16 world titles. John still at 16 world titles. And some type of way, the world championship is vacated and they have a tournament and they both get to the championship, the final round. and the winner breaks Ric Flair's record. That's what I would like to see. Um, Number two, let's say Goldberg
Like
defeats Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I know, bro. It hurts me too. But let's,
I thought we would get to the show without mentioning this guy.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We were doing well until
Uh,
let's just say Goldberg beats Drew, and we are praying to God that does not happen. But let's say Goldberg beats Drew. All right, and then let's just say the next pay-per-view, Goldberg wins again, Drew loses. And Goldberg goes on Raw and talks about who's next. And then Cena music drops. And Cena walks to the ring. And now we
that I
got
like.
there we go. Now we got Cena versus Goldberg. And Cena wins for the 17th time, breaking Ric Flair's record.
That's the
Other than
only thing I like is that
okay.
Goldberg getting beat by Cena.
And my other option is this. For the past, well, not last year because he lost to the Fiend, but at 34 and at 35, Cena put a beat down, figuratively and literally, on Elias. So maybe Elias gets his revenge and beats Cena at 37. That's the
Could
only
be.
three options I have.
I like I like the Goldberg Cena option the best. To tell you the truth, I never in my life have ever said this in my life about a wrestler. There's wrestlers I've hated. There's wrestlers I don't have respect for. I've never wished this ever. This is the first. I hope that Goldberg's next match, he breaks his collarbone and can
Ouch.
never and can never
Ouch.
and can never wrestle again. I
That's
can't.
I know you
He's got.
can't stand it, but that's rough, man. I won't wish no injuries on. That's rough, man.
I have never done this in my life. I
Oh
want
my
him going.
God.
I want him going that bad.
Oh my God. That's rough,
That's how
Tony.
bad. Listen, you know
Man.
that I'm not a malicious guy, but that's how bad I
Right.
want him going. He needs to lead a
Oh.
business, bro. That's how much I can't stand. He's killing the business. How you bring this guy in? If you bring him in as an attraction to have a few, like when he beat Ziggler, fine. The title? And how do you justify putting him in a title match when you just got beat by Braun Strowman with a couple moves? Out of here, man. He needs to
It's
go away.
it's funny. Only a few wrestlers from WCW have actually held the WWE title. Ric Flair was one, Chris Jericho was one, Rey Mysterio was one, and even when Hogan came back, he did it. That's the four I can think of off the top of my head. Booker T had the world heavyweight. Um, Trying to think of who else. Goldberg had world heavyweight and Universal. Goldberg might be the next one to get that belt, and I hope not. I hope not.
The only thing I can see them doing this is this. Listen, I know this is a stretch, but just hear me out for a second. I know if they give Goldberg the title, the only good thing that can come out of this is this. It might be a way to bring Stone Cold out of retirement for one more match. Because that's the match everybody never got to see. Stone Cold versus Goldberg. And Stone Cold said he would never get in the ring again. But I'm telling you right now, for the right money and to put Goldberg down, I think they could bring Stone Cold back. That was
That
the only reason I want to see it.
that is my number one dream match of all time that I
Mine
always
too.
wanted to see.
Mine too.
Those two, oh man, we never got it. We never got it.
WrestleMania 20, we got a taste when Stone Cold gave the stunner in
None
the
of
middle. Oh my
yeah.
God, I popped so big. But I thought the next year they were going to wrestle. I thought maybe Stone Cold was going to come back, man. But
And Goldberg left, Brock left, Stone Cold stunned both of them out the WWE. Oh man, but yes, John Cena is apparently will be in action at WrestleMania 37. Now we have a AEW pay per view next Saturday. We have the Royal Rumble on next Sunday. So we're gonna have a show next Saturday. Same time's good. And then we'll do a Royal Rumble preview show, give you all our picks to all the matches, who we think gonna be surprise entrants, and who we think will win the women and men's Royal Rumble. We could do that. Let's see. It comes on 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 here. Kickoff show at 6 and 5. So how about this? We'll do the show 3 o'clock your time, 2 o'clock my time, which is 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central on Sunday.
I'm in.
There we go. 2 shows next week. So we got a show on Saturday, recapping the week in wrestling. Probably talk a little AEW Revolution, I think is what it's called, at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. And then the following day on Sunday, the Royal Rumble preview show right here at 3 Eastern, 2 Central. Any last words, my friend?
Yes. A program note. If you haven't seen The Undertaker on Joe Rogan, it's on YouTube. Check it out. Undertaker said a few controversial things about the WWE. You might want to check that out. I sent the link is on MVS's page. I tagged Muhammad in it.
Okay.
Because gotta make sure he gets everything Undertaker. I don't want no problems with Muhammad. But check that out. It's a good watch. Little insight on Undertaker's political background and how he feels about politics and other things too. So check it out. That's it.
Speaking of Muhammad, let's give a shout out to Mohammed, Pete Guest, and Joe O'Connor, the host of Outlaw Mud Show Wrestling Podcast. Shout out to those guys who are friends of us. Um, I've talked to Joe. Joe said he wants us on the show one day and he wants to be on our show. So we're going to make that happen. And Joe said, "Hey man, if we can get to Mania, us five, we could do a collaboration show." And I said, "Well, look, you, Muhammad, and Pete are friends with Tony and I. I don't think that'll ever be a problem."
Hey, listen. Any show that we're on will elevate their show anyway. So
I know, right? Exactly.
But props to them. Props to those guys because I love all three of them.
Me too.
All three of those guys are legitimate, good dudes who I consider my friends.
Me too.
I literally love all three of them. I mean that. Like I love you. Like I'm so honored to be like in MVS, just to have you guys as friends. It's an honor to be just talk to you once a week on this show. So, God hope I hope their podcast stuff goes well. They can give me some pointers because I'm still having all kind of issues with my YouTube and my podcast. I just can't get it moving. Right now I'm in a stalemate. You know what I mean? So
I know what you mean. Yeah. Without MVS, man, we all wouldn't know each other.
True story.
Most likely. Yeah. So
True story.
Props to those three guys, man.
Shout out to Walter Silver, you bum.
Shout out to Walter Silver, man. Oh man. So, well, until next week, that's my brother over there, Tantilizing.
That's my brother over there.
Mr. Steal Your Dibs, JB.
The only Mr. Steal Your Dibs.
The only. Ain't no one. Ain't nobody else. The only. But until next week.